This is the one page of John Romita's comic book art that I own. This is from a book called Untold Spidey. Issue number 1, page 10, I guess it is. I bought this, I want to say 10 years ago, something like that, at a time when I really had not very much expendable cash. But John Romita has always been such a huge influence on my life. From the time I was a little kid, I guess probably from grade 1, when I got my first comic books. I got a box of old comics that contained some old Spider-Mans, and his work just made such an impression on me. And all my life, as I was collecting original art, I kept hoping I could find a page by John Romita. And I think it was a dealer named Mike Berkey had a bunch of them at one point. Like I said, I didn't have a lot of expendable cash. I think this page was, it was like $275. And I really didn't have $275 at the time to spend on comic book art, but I figured now or never, because any John Romita pages were just getting more and more expensive. So while this, I guess to most people would not be considered a really outstanding page or from his prime period, for me, it is an absolute treasure. I'm so happy that I have this one page in my original art collection. And as he has just passed away at age 93, I thought today I would share this with you rather than flipping through some old magazines. Now, I actually do have some magazines that we can look at, although unlike a regular day, today these are a few comics from my collection. And these are just random Marvel comics that I pulled out of some boxes in the basement because they had John Romita covers. And this particular issue of Spider-Man he actually drew. And this is when, this is just maybe just like very previously to when I first started actually buying comic books with my allowance money. Just so great. Of all the different Spider-Man time periods, this is the time period that I think is, the period where John Romita made this my favorite character. And I just bought anything that had Spider-Man, anything that had John Romita artwork at this time. Spent my allowance every week on Marvel Comics, and almost always because it was a cover or an interior by John Romita. Really great stuff. Love this story. As I'm flipping through here, I'm just starting to remember it. This is another Romita cover from earlier. This is part of the batch of comics I got when I got, as a kid, a box full of old comics, including Marvel comics. Only the cover is by Romita, though, and the insides are by John Buscema and Jim Mooney. Still a good story. But and then these these Spidey super stories. Again, I would never have bought these. They were a little bit too young for me at the time, but these fantastic John Romita covers that they would put on them. Just those beautiful, really classic Romita Spidey poses. I just couldn't resist them. I would buy these in the summer to take with me when we went on vacation, even though he only did the covers, as far as I know. The interiors were always kind of a disappointment. I think the reason... This one's actually Gilkane pencils with Romita inks. I think the reason that he was always so popular, to my tastes anyways, is because he had this innate ability to draw, I think, what I would call sort of the most commercial art of all comic book art. In other words, it had that sort of idealism that we see in advertising illustration, and advertising illustration, for some reason, has always appealed to me. And there's just something about this sort of ideal beauty of John Romita's, especially his female characters, but his handsome male characters as well, that just always really appealed to me. If you're familiar with the term eye candy, I think, John Romita's artwork has that eye candy quality, which is no doubt why he did so many covers and so much of the merchandising artwork at Marvel over the years. And by chance, when I was digging through the boxes in the basement and found these random issues, I also stumbled upon these 3 issues of Cinder and Ash, a comic drawn for DC by Jose Luis Garcia Lopez. And I often think of the two artists very much in the same way. Garcia Lopez, of course, has done a ton of merchandising art for DC. He is really sort of the style guide artist of DC, in the same way that I think John Romita was, in some ways, you could call him the style guide artist at Marvel. Both of them had that innate ability to just draw the commercially perfect version of the characters from their 2 companies. So just a little aside there. Anyway, there you go. I thought I'd share that with you today. My 1 page of John Romita original art that I'm just so happy to own and so happy to share with you today. And just a few random issues of various Marvel comics by John Romita. There you go. And now, just like so many other of the greats, he's unfortunately gone. Well, rest in peace, John Romita. We will miss you.